All right. This might be like a way longer one. Maybe not way longer, but I guess we'll see. A lot happened today, and I kind of just need to talk about it. Um, Before I jump into that, though, I made like a community post about this, but I just want to reiterate. Really appreciate all the support I've gotten from you guys so far. This is, obviously been a very hard part of my life. And I kind of just started making these to track my thoughts, like I've said before. But I really appreciate all the kindness I've received. I want to especially like thank two people in specific. Zach Prince. He commented under both my videos. He was super nice. He had just incredibly kind and insightful things to say. So thanks to him. And then a commenter named It Will Be Different. I think he said, or she, I don't know. But they said that they kind of like made this challenge just to comment, and it was a super long comment that was really insightful about the situation. And you can tell they've already had experience in these kind of areas, and they just gave me a lot to think about. So I appreciate both of you, and then I appreciate anyone else who's commented on my videos or even liked them, supported them in any way. I really appreciate it, guys. But to jump into my thing today, she actually, we had a call today, and that was, man, that was rough. I'll walk you guys through what happened, basically. So today we were doing like grading for like a middle school science fair, right? I do like a lot of science fair stuff. I'm a pretty science inclined person. I've gone to the international competition before, so it's something I care about deeply. And I like supporting my community. So I was doing like grading for them, right? Doing the projects, looking through them, and she's also into science fair stuff, so she was there as well. My ex-girlfriend for years, I guess. And she, sorry, I just lost my train of thought, man. It's been a long day. But yeah, we actually kind of met, not even kind of, well, I mean, we like already knew each other, but like we kind of fell in love over the span of science fair, so it's something personal to both of us, I guess. But yeah, I was grading at the middle school, right? And it was really awkward at first. The group of people were all pretty close friends with her, and I wasn't really too close friends with any of them, so I felt awkward at first, but I kind of worked my way through the people, and at the end of it, actually, I think I got closer to a lot of them, so it was super cool. But another thing about it is that like during that, I kind of got like, I don't want to say close, but I got like warmer to her. It started off with us just not even daring to look each other in the eye. And then by the end of it, we were like occasionally talking about the projects. And it was nice, man. It was so nice. As adamant as I am that I kind of want to stay apart, man. It's hard having that person that I love for so long to just be speaking to her so casually. It's a double-edged sword. It's nice to feel that again, but man, it's brutal. But we get out of the science fair, and I thought that was kind of a done deal, right? I felt odd, but I wasn't especially, upset or anything. But then, I go home after that, right? School day's basically over, so I might have missed my last class, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, and I'm sitting at home, and then she texts me, and she asked why I blocked her on Instagram. If you guys can remember from my first video, she kind of like had a small little incident like in class where she like not told anyone, but like kind of like yelled out loud, like asked me like why I blocked her, and that was kind of awkward. But I guess she was trying to get clarification. And I kind of like just directly told her that I'm trying to like limit the temptation, right? Because as much as I'm trying to be what's it called, like like a good person to like carry through it, right? It's difficult, man. So I just need to like limit seeing her, man, because like the more I think about it, the more it just hurts. So I told her about that, and she just told me it was fair enough. but she said that it really sucked that we just can't talk just casually anymore. And I told her that we can still be friends like in person, but I feel like us just communicating online will just give us misplaced hope. And I still kind of stand by that, honestly. And I thought it was kind of whatever. And then she asked me if there was any shot that we could like ever work out our relationship, and it kind of just caught me off guard. I kind of knew that she was wanting to get back together, right? I heard from some mutual friends. That's its own kind of situation, actually. Maybe I'll make a video about that at some point. It's I don't know if I'm gonna make a video about it because it kind of paints her in a bad light, because she kind of did something kind of bad. Not even kind of bad. It was pretty bad after a relationship that it has been a big part of like why I've been hesitant and trying to get back together. But anyways, I got off topic. I'm sorry, guys. She asked me if there's any shot we could work out, and I just told her it's a hard question, man. Because on one end, I don't want to like I don't want to say there's not a possibility we're gonna get back together, right? Like, to be entirely honest, but I just don't like. I think we can. I just don't think we will, right? There's a scenario where I see we could get back together and everything would work out peachy, great, but realistically speaking, it's just not gonna go anywhere, and that's just what I told her. And then she told me, like she understands that, but then she was trying to give me points of why she thinks that it could work this time. And I just told her this. You can't do this to me, man. It's been so hard already. I've tried so hard to do the choice that I think is right for both of us, and she's just making it so much harder. And she knows I already have felt this way. We've had brief conversations about it before, but she was just being very adamant that she thinks we get back together, and I don't know, man. And we talked for a little after that about like reasons why I think we might not necessarily work out. One of it being that situation I talked about. I'll make a video about. Should I just go into it now? I'll give like a brief run through, actually. 2 in 1 episode. I won't go into detail, but basically, like about 3 days after our relationship ended, she kind of like hitched up, I guess is the word, with one of my friend's exes. Because like the thing about her is that she is bisexual, but very heavily leaning towards women. I'm the first guy she's ever dated, and pretty good chance it'll be the last. So yeah, and so she was just like made out with my best friend's ex. So that's, and her and my best friend do not like each other. They are, I don't want to say enemies, but they're not friends. So it was really a spit in the face when it happened. Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons. I mean, you guys could probably assume that, but it's frustrating, man. Like, that is a very, very hard line to cross, especially right after our relationship. Like, for all I know, this could have been something that was already happening, like, previous to us breaking up. And, like, I don't know, man. It's rough. I am kind of, like, half friends with that best friend's ex. Obviously, I don't communicate with her too much, because, I have priorities with my friends. But yeah, I heard some pretty gross stuff from that friend, because like they stopped their little thing, and the reason they stopped, partially on my friend's ex's part, she didn't really want to continue anymore, and then partially on my ex's. There's so many exes. I'm sorry, guys. But partially on my ex's part, because she told my friend's ex that she still had feelings for me and would really want to get back with me in the future. Which, man, oh, hate that, if I'm gonna be honest. very upset. That was a very upsetting thing to hear at the time, and it's still kind of upsetting to think about. Because, you know, like, she still had feelings for me, but she still, like, went out to do that. And, you know, it's like she wanted to hurt me. And it's not like me, like, just saying that. Like, that's something she told me directly, that she wants to hurt me. Or she wanted to hurt me by doing that. So, I don't know, man. But I just, after, like, she texted me about, like, wanting to get back together. Like, she, like, directly told me at the end of, like, one of, like, the long back and forth. She, like, asked me, please, Joel, give me a chance. And, oh, man, that stings. It's a knife to the heart, man, if I'm gonna be honest. I hated hearing that. But, yeah, I just... Oh, sorry, I'm really recounting on it now. That feels awful. Yeah, I just gave her, like, a long text about, you know, that I'm not a perfect person, right? And I've made mistakes that have hurt our relationship, and you know, she has as well. But, like, despite, like, those issues, that things that we could work on, there's just so many things that we can't work on, just things that are integral to us that kind of just conflict, right? I'm a pretty avoidant person. You know, I don't want to use, like, too many, like, buzzwords, I guess, or, like, relationships, like, oh yeah, I'm avoidant, anxious, or whatever. But I am kind of just avoidant. Once again, you know, I guess that's just kind of how I was raised. And, you know, she is, like, more on the anxious side, so it's very contrasting, and it's very difficult for us to be together. So it's just something we need to work on, or not. Sorry, I don't even know why I said that. It's something we can work on. It's kind of just how we are, and, you know, we can do better about it. But at the end of the day, it's gonna conflict, and even if there's something we could possibly fix very, very long term, that's very, very, that's like a lot of things to stake our future relationship on. So keep in mind, I'm a senior in high school. I'm about to go off somewhere. Hopefully Johns Hopkins University. Accept me, guys. But, you know, I just need to go. I'm going pretty far away no matter where I go, just because I need to get out of this town. Not for her necessarily, but, you know, so many video topics, a little time. But yeah, it's just so much to stake our relationship on, and I just can't see myself committing to something like that. Like, there's so much effort and time into something that I think has been, like, proven between us that just doesn't work. And I don't know if it's not that I know. I know that this is a very bad thing to stake so much on, and I'm just not willing to do that. That's both of our lives, possibly, like, so much of it, just so much time and effort from us just being dripped away on something that we could have prevented. And I'm not gonna let that happen to either of us. You know, I disagree with some of her actions, but at the end of the day, I still want good for her, and I don't know if I could be that good for her, honestly. But yeah, and this is kind of funny, actually. She, like, told me we absolutely could make it work, but then she, like, just texted me, but I get it, bye. Right? And, you know, you're still short like that, and she texted me back a minute later, and then she said, no, not bye, I have more to say. And then she still told me she's driving, and she'll text me when she gets home, which, like, you know, obviously it's a serious situation, but I kind of did find that a little funny, if I'm gonna be honest. You know, I think she'd find it funny too, so I don't feel bad laughing about it. It is just kind of humorous. But I told her that no worries, that we'll talk when she gets home. And then she asks me if I would rather call, actually, just while she's driving. I told her sure, but I don't know, I've never been good about talking in person. I like to think that, you know, over, like, video and, you know, over stuff, I come across as a very well-spoken individual, usually. I can be, like, very regulated in the way I speak, and, you know, I can think pretty clearly about what I'm about to say. Sometimes making these videos, that makes me question that, because I stutter a lot, but that's besides the point, I guess. But, like, in person, you know, especially, like, during confrontation, I don't know why, I really just fall apart, honestly. I get super emotional. I, like, start shaking. Like, genuinely, words cannot come out. I think it kind of stems back when I was little. I used to do that when I was little as well, and I think it's just something about my family. You know, like I said, like, okay, you know, I've said like a lot, I give my home a little slack in these videos, but I do think my home's a pretty good situation. It's just, you know, growing up, I didn't have many outlets to express my emotions that, you know, were negative. So it's kind of just something that's grown on me, I guess, where it's difficult for me to express those emotions, especially in person. Um, yeah. So I tell her sure to on the call to calling, right? And you know, we call. It's like a very awkward hello, hello when we pick up the phone, but it's whatever. And then she starts talking about like her case, I guess, that she thinks that we should get back together. Um, and almost right away, like you could hear her in her voice, she's crying, and man, like pardon my language, but fuck, dude, that's that was just horrible to hear, honestly. Um, it's it's just hard to find words for it because it's just heartbreaking, man. Because like despite everything, she's someone I still care about deeply, and I want the best for her. And just hearing her sob over the phone, talking about wanting to get back together, it's 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 mortifying, man. It's horrible to hear, and especially since, you know, I think I've made my decision on it, and it's not the same as hers. Um, and God, this just makes me feel horrible, honestly. But I just kind of froze up. Um, Not that like I didn't talk at all, but it was very long between whenever I was speaking, and I could just hear like trying to like kind of conceal her sobbing in the background, like in the awkward silences in between. And I guess I kind of just reiterated my point of like why I don't think we should get back together, like namely, or mainly, yeah, that I'm just kind of scared about our relationship. You know, I just don't think it's very healthy for us to get back together, and I just think that us being back together would hurt us more than anything. And she's like said that she understood the risks, but she said that like spending the rest of her life with me would be worth it. And oh man, like, you know, I like to think that I handled this breakup pretty okay, but I feel like a piece of shit, dude. And I know it's not necessarily not even necessarily, I know it's not my fault. Um, like this is like something that I can't really control, and I'd feel an ass no matter what. But I felt like such a dick standing there, telling her again and again why I don't think we should get back together as she's sobbing in the background. It was horrifying, genuinely. Like it was something that I never want to experience again. And it was basically this conversation for about 30 minutes, and the entire time she's crying, and I just don't have the words that would make her feel better, that would be honest to me. Because the only thing I could say was for us to get back together, right? Just accept the terms and condition. But I can't let myself be disrespected like I have been. I can't go back to this relationship just for the purpose of the way you've treated me after this and the things you've done. And just honestly, for me, I need to stick by my decision of thinking that we're better off not together. And it sucks, man, because she was devastated about it, and she just kept saying that she thinks we could work. I just kept saying that I don't think so, and it was just back and forth for 30 minutes, man. It's horrific, dude. Man, it's just, God. So I'm tearing up a little. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, and eventually near the end of the call, she was just pleading for me to at least consider it, and I told her I would. And it's not something I was saying to just like, you know, fill space. You know, like some of the things she brought up, like she does want to like genuinely change, but I don't know. I still have my concerns, but she wants me to genuinely reevaluate our relationship and see you know, if it's worth it for me, and really consider moving forward on it. And I told her that I would, and it's something that I want to do, because I don't want to leave this relationship on a bad, or I don't want to, what am I trying to say? I don't want this relationship to end if it doesn't have to. I mean, it's already ended, but you know, like, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, man, after all my feelings and, you know, these journals and just my feelings outside of it and everything, I don't know if I can go back. So it's definitely something I have to think over. Because, you know, as much as, like, she has done some stuff that I'm not happy with, you know, I haven't always been the greatest person in our relationship. You know, I won't say I was, like, actively evil or did anything that's, like, I'd consider, like, bad, but, you know, I'm not a perfect person. Sometimes I make mistakes, and I can tell that, you know, some of those things have affected her, and it's, I'm ashamed of it. But I just don't know if some of that behavior, if I've had the time to fix that behavior in the week and a half, 2 weeks now, I guess, that we've been apart. And I want to do better. I mean, obviously, right? It's in the name of the channel, I guess, but I think I need more me time to make myself the person I want to become. But I don't know. What do I know? What do I know? Yeah, I told her I'd consider it, and then we had the most awkward goodbye all the time, and then I hung up, and just kind of just left there sitting and just thinking about our relationship. And I don't know, man. It was just a mortifying experience to go through. And, you know, I'm not gonna, like, put it on her that, like, this is, like, a bad thing. You know, she's obviously advocating for a relationship she wants back, and I'll never blame her for her feelings. She's entirely valid to feel that way, and, you know, I'm glad, like, she's not just gonna push it down, you know, make herself feel worse about it. But at the same time, man, I almost hate that she put it onto me, like, to think about it. And, you know, I know, like, what she was just trying to make her go for our relationship, but it hurts, man. It just hurts to even think about it, and to think that I have such an easy window to go back, and that I have to, or that I'm not. Oh, I still need to think about it, but that I'll have to. Chances are I'll have to turn it down when it's right in my face. It would be so easy. It'd be a single text. It'd be a single call, and I could go back to our relationship, and all those happy memories. I could just get more and more, but I know that's not right for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. I talked to my mom a little bit about it, and the thing about my mom is she's very similar to my ex-girlfriend. She's obviously more refined, right? But I was talking to my mom about some of the things that she did, and my mom said that she was like that when I was younger, and it was really unhealthy for my dad, but he stuck through it anyways. And it makes me wonder, because, okay, when I was little, they didn't have the best relationship, honestly. But, like, now that I'm older, kind of wish there's when I was younger, right? But now that I'm older, they're just fantastic with each other. They're so happy every day together, and I want something like that, you know. I'm a lot like my dad, so it's not like I don't see a pathway for us. But yeah, anyway, it's kind of a small detour there, but I don't know. She said that she's a lot like that, and that made me think about it more. That, you know, maybe this relationship, there is, like, solid ground here to work off of. But I don't know, honestly. It's just something I have to think about. I guess this journalist kind of help, because I can get insight from people who don't know me personally, can see what I'm feeling, honestly, and, you know, go off of that. Which, you know, I appreciate, by the way. You know, I've already said this, but, you know, I really appreciate you guys and everything. But yeah. I guess that's all I have to talk about today. And also, I'm about to run out of Minecraft footage. You know, this is way longer than I thought it'd be. But thank you guys so much for watching and constantly supporting me. Just thank you so much, man. Yeah. And peace, I guess.